Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. Welcome back. Let's go. Let's go. They ain't listening, man. Your boy DELRAY Richardson, platinum artist, platinum songwriter, straight game TV. We in the building on a good Saturday morning. Kaja Mbaso, welcome. Brittany Marie, what's good? Your boy DELRAY. B. Dot, what's happening? So happy that they could send out the alerts. Wait for a couple more people come up in here. We got to talk about this. Mm-hmm. I hate to say I told you so, but yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's get it. Let's get it. I'm only gonna bring you the straight game. No speculation, no innuendo. Let's go. Hit the share button. Hit the like button. We need this to go out. We need this to go out. I'm telling y'all, we need this to go out. If they could do it to Jay, they could do it to anybody. I'm telling you right now. Let's go. Beats Gordy, Andre Folk, Passport Shotgun, Donald H, God and Travel. Let's get into it. Your boy DELRAY Richardson, Straight Game TV. Ladies and gentlemen, Jay-Z and his lawyer have just asked for the case to be dismissed. I need you to understand why. And I told you this in my last live. A lot of people won't be able to read through it. And I'm going to explain something to you before I really get into the nuances of what's really going on. The reason why Tony Buzbee, the lawyer who's filing these Jane Doe cases, is filing these cases anonymously is for this very purpose, right? And when you talk about who and what this is about, Jay-Z's lawyer, Alex Spiro, has done a very good job of being Jay-Z's lawyer and proven that when it's time to move, he's ready to move and protect his client. And let me tell you why. When you file a case under the Jane Doe, if you will, you don't have to admit who the person is, right? The young lady was supposed to be from Alabama and all of these things. Now Tony Buzbee is saying he's going to continue to vet the case. Pump your brakes. That was supposed to be done before the lawsuit was even filed. You do not file a lawsuit without vetting your client first. Remember, he claimed that he had 120 people. We haven't seen those. And I want you to understand what this ripple effect that's going to happen right now. We're to assume by this and the other cases that did not move forward that he has filed, right? We're to assume, unless these people are identified, that all of these cases are considered to be what Jay-Z called against him fraud. Alabama, listen, the young lady claimed that her daddy came and picked her up, right? This is in Jay-Z's case. The young lady claimed that her daddy came and picked her up. Well, her father just basically said that he doesn't remember anything like that. And don't you think that one's father, I would know if I had to go pick my daughter up for 5 hours from Alabama to New York, I would remember that for the rest of my life. That's a 10-hour drive, 5 up and 5 back. Oh, I would remember that. But her father said, I don't remember that. I would remember that. More importantly, I told you that the case would be dismissed, well, dismissed by inconsistencies once again. It's been, what's 24 years, right? 24 years that this is alleged to have happened. It didn't happen. I'm telling you right now that it never even happened, man. It never, and the reason that it didn't happen is because the father don't remember picking his daughter up for 5 hours. If that didn't happen, none of it happened. We can only go from the one thing that didn't happen that we know didn't happen. You got Jaguar Wright out here. You got the dude over there on the popcorn channel over there peddling all of this old craziness and these suspicious trying to sell you these nail biting. Oh, it's Jay, he's going down next and all of this and all of that. Bullshit. And guess what? When it's all said and done, you ain't gonna hear none of them. They ain't gonna say nothing. They're gonna be like, well, on to the next one. Let's go back to Diddy again. Right? I told you before that lies run sprints, but the truth will run a marathon. You're dealing with the wrong type of person and dealing with Jay-Z like this. He's not having it. Right? He's not having it. Right? And so the miscalculation, I would say, is to think that, okay, he got kids, he's famous, he's this, he's that. The NFL just came out and say, you know what? We're not budging on our relationship with Jay-Z from that perspective. Right? They must know something about the Deshaun Watson situation. I think Tony Buzbee was involved with suing Deshaun Watson. And Deshaun Watson played for the Houston Texans, right? They say the rumor is that Tony Buzbee lives next to the Houston Texans owner. You can only imagine. And Deshaun Watson wanted to leave. They didn't want him to leave. They probably said, "Yeah, if you stay, man, we'll drop these lawsuits. We'll talk to Tony. And we'll see if we can make this. If you decide to stay, that's what I mean, right?" But let's get into these facts because once again, the case was never vetted. Jay-Z's lawyer, Alex Spiro, basically say Jay-Z's lawyer asked the court to dismiss the lawsuit accusing him, along with Sean P. Diddy Combs, of assaulting a 13-year-old girl in 2000 after inconsistencies emerged in her allegations. An Alabama woman, we know now that the woman is from Alabama, an Alabama 13-year-old woman said her girlfriend drove her 5 hours, 5 hours, and dropped her off on a corner in front of the VMAs in New York in the year 2000. Y'all, listen to this. This is how crazy this is. I want you to understand how. But listen to the creative juices that made people attracted to this story. See, the media won't cover it like this. This is that straight game. Check it out now. An Alabama woman named in a legal action by a pseudonym, Jane Doe, has accused the musician of drugging and attacking her at a house party following the MTV Video Music Awards. House party? She's invited? Radio City Music Hall? 2000? She claimed she spoke with one celebrity at the party, though his representatives and he was on tour at the time. Boom, red flag number one. So one of the people that she claimed that she talked to wasn't even there. Never mind that daddy, don't remember come picking his daughter up after she had alleged to been assaulted by Sean P. Diddy Combs and Jay-Z. Listen, she didn't tell daddy in the car on the long 5-hour ride home. Daddy didn't know anything different, notice anything different about his daughter. Listen, it didn't happen. So don't question me about what I'm saying in trying to disregard a serious situation involving something like this. This situation never happened, man. The father don't remember even going to pick his daughter up for 5 hours. Okay, so we're just going over the fabricated story, the false story, unvetted story that was pushed to the press in a slanderous campaign against Jay-Z. I'm going to just deal with Jay-Z for right now. Check it out now. So she claimed that she spoke with one celebrity at the party, the house party now. It was house party now, you know. Though his representative said he was on tour at the time. Her father told NBC News, not YouTube News, not the bogus channel that they got. They pushing something else with Jaguar right on it and all these other people on it that want to come out and sound like they know something that they really don't know, right? Just to get you to watch the channel. Listen, her father told NBC News he cannot recall driving 5 hours to pick her up after an alleged assault, as she says. What in the 5-hour drive is going on out here, man? It's not that she's lying. It never happened. You got to understand that. She was coerced into lying, like I said in the other video that I made before this. Go back and watch it. Jay-Z's lawyer and Jay-Z are on the right page. I understand that some people don't like Jay-Z because of his success. I understand that some people don't like Jay-Z because he's doing his thing and he's living out his life and accomplishing his goals. You're not Dame Dash. You're not Biggs Burke. You're not none of the people that had a personal relationship or business relationship with Jay-Z. And when they speak out, they're speaking what is their truth, right? You can take sides all day. Once again, understand this. Lies are lies and the truth is the truth. Lies run sprints, but the truth runs marathons. And the truth does not actually get the coverage that the lie did because the lie is more exciting. You know, oh, Jay-Z about to fall. Oh, they said he did something to some 13-year-old girl. I believe him. You got people coming out talking about, don't follow these celebrities. Y'all following these celebrities and believing in them, and y'all don't know what they doing. The cold part about the game is most of these people speaking out of haters that wouldn't give you in the chat or anybody else the benefit of the doubt of knowing your character and saying, hey, you know what? Let me reserve judgment because I don't see this happening like this. I don't see this. This man got daughters, right? And saying, hey, you know what? I'm not settling nothing. We're going to have to walk this to the door. As a matter of fact, Jay-Z told him, look, don't worry about that. Go on and file a criminal case. File a criminal. Don't file no civil case. Don't just go for the money. Go to put me in prison and see how I fight. Right? But we see now what happened. So the young lady's father basically told NBC News he cannot recall driving 5 hours, not five one way and 5 the other, driving 5 hours to pick her up after the alleged assault. As she says, in an interview with NBC, the woman acknowledged making some mistakes in her accusations, but said she stood by her claim. Those are not mistakes. Those are what we consider, in the real world, lies. And see, then you're going to have people come and say, well, she could have forgot. Her daddy didn't forget. Her daddy didn't forget. Her daddy said, no, I didn't come drive no 5 hours like she claimed. The girlfriend who she said that drove her there has since passed away. May she rest in peace. The case wasn't vetted, man. It wasn't vetted. It was filed expeditiously, if you will, right? And they didn't care. That's why they filed it under the Jane Doe, I'm sorry, right? The woman acknowledged making mistakes in her accusations, but said she stood by her claims. And then you have people, the assault support providers, say it's common for victims for such situations to remember some details, especially if they have been allegedly drugged, right? She wasn't drugged. It didn't happen. It didn't happen. If your daddy say he don't remember coming pick you up and driving 5 hours, and you say in the case that you drove 5 hours, then who took you home? You don't remember that? But you put that in the lawsuit. You understand what I'm saying? You have you under the penalty of perjury when you put something in a lawsuit like that. That's simply not true. You can't come out and say, well, and then the lawyer that's Tony Buzbee pushing this in the press, like, yeah, and then behind the scenes with a demand letter, like, yeah, if you don't settle this, we're gonna push this out, right? Jane Doe, hold on. It said why SA victims survivors forget detail. Jay-Z accused with Diddy in lawsuit of SA and a girl of 13 in 2000. The charges against Diddy, the charges against Sean Diddy Combs explain. Listen, the litigation is part of dozens of SA lawsuits filed against Mr. Combs, who was in custody awaiting trial on federal sex trafficking charges in New York. He was denied bail in the third time, which we all know. Mr. Combs denies all allegations. Listen, Jay-Z's lawyer, Alex Spiro, asked the court to dismiss the Jane Doe's case, saying in a statement to the BBC, it is stunning. Listen, y'all, it is stunning that a lawyer would not only file such a serious complaint without properly vetting, but would make things worse by further peddling this false story in the press. Are we serious? Jay, you back in here talking about who is and who ain't a saint. None of us are saints. You're not a saint either. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the inconsistencies in this case that allege that somebody that has done something, anybody that has done something that didn't happen. Do you understand the gravity of that? Or are you stuck on Diddy not being a saint? See, once again, we call that cognitive dissonance, right? When the truth of the matter is so compelling that you decide to stick with what you think you know, or rather what you want to believe because it makes you comfortable. That's cognitive dissonance. What I'm talking about is the mere fact that someone put something in a lawsuit in regards to her father, picking her up after the situation. And then once again, see, this is the funny part. Once somebody, you ever see when somebody gets caught in a lie, and then, the people around them try to come out and be like, maybe they didn't remember it all. No. When they spoke the lie, they seemed to remember it. And they spoke the lie adamantly. Not as if they were they couldn't remember it. They couldn't, So once again, I say that to say, when we take in information, and I know it's easy to believe the lie. Oh God, how they want to just grab onto the lie because he's a successful black man, and he had to have done something wrong. And the son, the supposed son that he had with some girl come out, and he's speaking out and be like, yeah, he's saying that he didn't do this with my mama, and totally unrelated situations. We talking about something that somebody said about somebody. But listen to this. Jay-Z's attorney, Alex Spiro, asked the court to dismiss the Jane Doe's case, saying in a statement to the BBC that it is stunning that a lawyer would not only file such a serious complaint, right, without proper vetting. That means each and every part of her story. When she said that, if she told him that, yeah, my daddy came and picked me up from after the situation happened, right? Well, the lawyer, Tony Buzbee, was supposed to say, hey, you know what? Well, we need to talk to your dad about that, right? They didn't care. They didn't care about vetting no case. They wanted a quick settlement. They wanted Jay-Z to be like, nah, let's go ahead and settle this. But guess what? When we talk about standing tall, I got to commend Roger Goodell for the NFL for standing behind Jay-Z, because most big organizations like the NFL and people would have been like, hey, we're temporarily suspending our relationship with Jay-Z, and Rock Nation and blah, blah, blah. Roger Goodell did not do that. And he's a white guy. So it says a lot for a lot of other African Americans who want to sit back, who has no invested interest in doing business with Jay-Z at all, other than you might have bought his album. You might have bought a ticket to a concert, right? Have no invested interest. But all of a sudden, man, I believe it, man. You know, because they was out here and, you know, you don't know what they're doing at these. Man, come on, man. Stop it. It's time to start using common sense. It's time to start reserving judgment, right? And wait until you hear the truth come out. But now we see what the truth is. Basically, it's stunning, Jay-Z's lawyer, it's stunning that a lawyer would not only file such a serious complaint and push it all throughout the media, right? And the media get up and run with the football like they running for a touchdown. And they know that probably it's not even true, but they don't care. They need you to watch, right? The complaint without proper vetting, but would make things worse by further peddling this false story in the press. It's crazy. To assassinate the character of Jay-Z. Listen, the rapper whose real name is Sean Carter issued a statement to the BBC saying the lawyer Tony Buzbee had filed the legal action in pursuit of money and fame. Remember, he came out and said, I got 120 lawsuits I'm about to file against Puffy. Call the hotline 1-800-TONY-BUZBEE. Get this money, right? The majority of the lawsuits never went through because the alleged Jane Does refused to be acknowledged. I'm going to say and go as far as saying is that they never existed. You can sue Diddy. Diddy already locked up. I mean, you know, like I said, and I'm sure his money's dusted up like a real big dog, right? For real, that nobody can really. So you can get a judgment against him, but it ain't saying that you're going to get paid, right? But I'm saying now that we see what the tactics are, we need to identify the tactics, right? And see what's going on. So now, right? He filed a legal action in pursuit of money and fame. Remember, he had a big press conference, a big old press conference. We have over 120 victims. What? Man, they filed probably 10 lawsuits. And all of them was Jane Does, and 4 or 5 of them didn't move forward based on the fact that these alleged Jane Does didn't want their identity brought up. I told you before, Diddy just challenged another case that Tony Buzbee filed. And basically, the judge said that the lady had until November 13th to file a new brief with her name actually in it. And she didn't. And that case never got refiled. Y'all didn't hear about that. The media didn't run with that. They ran with the salaciousness of the accusation. But when the other part came out, well, judge said, no, you got to identify yourself. Mr. Combs deserves the right to confront his accuser and know who this accuser is. You have until November 13th to file a new brief with your name in it. Did they file that? No. Once again, here comes the truth. Now, the truth is, well, you know, my client, you know, didn't want to reveal herself. No, there was no client. There was no client. There was no client. Right here, the same thing with this woman. She said, but I stick by my claim. But your daddy said he didn't pick you up. That's an inconsistency, a real big one when you put it in a legal brief and file it with the court. I'm not talking about what we're saying on YouTube. I'm talking about what we're saying. I mean, what actually can be permissible in the court of law, right? That's a big inconsistency all the time. That's like saying, like, yeah, they said that you was over at the party when the thing happened, but we got proof that you was in Las Vegas and we got you on camera at the crap table at the time that they say the situation happened, right? That's an inconsistency. And the case in itself gets dismissed, right? Hold on. Listen, and Jay-Z's lawyer, basically, they listen, They're basically saying what I've been saying all along, right? This incident didn't happen, and yet Tony Buzbee filed it in court and doubled down in the press. Jay-Z's statement said. Jay-Z saying this incident didn't even happen, right? But yet Tony Buzbee filed it in court and doubled down in the press, saying the fact speaks for itself, our case speaks for itself, the filing speaks for itself. It didn't happen. The father doesn't remember picking his daughter up at 13 years old. When she got, let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you something. If my daughter called me and she was 5 hours away from home, right? Listen to me. And she was 13 years old and she was 5 hours away from home and I didn't know where she was at. Number one, when she got in that car, I'm whipping her ass. And she will never leave home again without telling me. You can tell me whatever you want to tell me. 5 hours away from home, 13 years old, how you get here? And the girl that she told me that brung her there, I'm going to talk to her family and I'm going to ask for permission to whip her ass too. And what I mean by whip her ass is discipline her, to let her know that my love for her stems more than anything that she would ever want to do. And all she got to do is come talk to daddy about, if she wanted to do something, come talk to her father about something that she wanted to go somewhere to a award show or something like that. And I'll move heaven and earth to try to make that happen for her. See, this is how you know that it's a lie. We're talking about common sense situations that involve common sense remedies and results. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. The FBI ain't on Jay-Z for nothing. What they on Jay-Z for? Jay-Z it surpassed all of that. What they on him for, man? Tell us what they on him for. Is that another speculative comment? You know what I mean? Jay-Z saying the incident didn't happen, and yet Tony Buzbee filed in court and doubled down in the press. His statement said, listen, though, this goes for any man that has a daughter in around about that age, right? And it goes to Tony Buzbee's conscience as a man, not even as a lawyer. We're going to take that part away. We're not even going to take it. We're not going to deal with it as a lawyer, but as a man. And he didn't even ask himself. He didn't ask himself none of the questions that people would ask themselves. Tony Buzbee, if you had a 13-year-old daughter and you didn't know where she was, and I'm sure she probably would still live at home, and she called you from California and said that she was at the Grammys at 13 years old, right? And she just come from a Grammy party, and she needs you to come pick her up. Did he even ask this young lady what did her father say to her when he came to pick her up after a 5-hour drive to come pick her up? And did your father know where you were? Did any of your parents know where you were? They didn't even care, man. They didn't even care. So that lets you know right then and there that it was a money grab, like Jay-Z said. It was for money and fame. It was to try to bolster the legal practice. But what it did was it put a stain on Tony Buzbee's name and his legal practice. It's amazing. It is amazing, man. Listen, we understand how it works. Listen, they said true justice is coming. We fight from victory, not for victory. This was over before it began. This 1-800 lawyer doesn't realize it yet, but soon. I'm telling you. Did you hear what I just said? Jay-Z said, listen, this is what Jay-Z said. Jay-Z said, true justice is coming. We fight from victory, not for victory. This was over before it began. This 1-800 lawyer doesn't realize it yet, but soon. So when the brother types in the chat that the FBI is on Jay-Z's ass, nah, I would change. I would switch that around and say Jay-Z's on Tony Buzbee's ass. Because see, Jay-Z also has a John Doe lawsuit filed against Tony Buzbee. And you know what? Yeah, you can best believe that they're going to write complaints to the Bar Association. All of this, there will be sanctions. There will be all of this because this situation was not vetted at all. People don't understand what's going on. I want y'all to listen to me, right? Listen. They also contacted P. Diddy's lawyers, but he hadn't really had nothing to say. Listen, Mr. Buzbee said his firm was continuing to vet the client's claims. What? Listen, this admission of unprofessionalism in regards to being an attorney. You got some great lawyers out here, man. Really out here fighting the good fight. Let's be clear about that. I'm 100%. I love the law. I love the process in which even though it wasn't really fair to a lot of us, from that perspective. But like I said, once again, there are a lot of lawyers out here, like Jay-Z's lawyer, Alex Spiro, who's out here really fighting a good fight. You know what I'm saying? And numerous other lawyers out here really truly fighting a good fight. So we gotta commend them and let that be known for what that is, right? But Tony Buzbee basically came out and said his firm was continuing to vet his client's claims. No, he wasn't. You were supposed to do that before you filed a lawsuit. He didn't do it. You don't get a second bite at the apple or a continued bite at the legal apple. You got to vet those claims prior to even coming into the court or filing a brief in the court. Judges don't take kind to that, right? You're wasting their time, right? So now, the woman says in the lawsuit, a waitress offered her a drink. She didn't get it from Sean P. Diddy Combs. A waitress at a house party? Okay, I don't, a waitress offered her a drink at the party that made her feel woozy. She's 13 years old. Alcohol itself at 13 years old gonna make you feel woozy. What the fuck is going on? Come on, man. Come on, man. So they, and I'm sorry for laughing, but it's just funny. It's actually laughable because you could tell that it's made up. So the woman says that the law in the lawsuit that the waitress offered her a drink. The waitress offered her a drink that made her feel woozy. So where did Jay-Z and Sean P. Diddy Combs drug her at? If it allegedly happened, it didn't happen. But do you see how this is working out? At 13 years old, if you've never drank alcohol before, right? She said that made her feel woozy. She went into a room to lie down. At a stranger's house, you didn't call daddy when you felt woozy? See what I mean? Just common sense approaches to certain situations that we're not really looking at when we want to see things that we want to see, because that's just how we want to see them. You know what I mean? This is the problem, right? Soon afterwards, the legal action says Mr. Combs and Mr. Carter entered the room with a female celebrity. Ooh. See, they even trying to implement other celebrities in this made-up story. So it's an attachment to different celebrities so they can hit them with demand letters too, right? So let me give you a prime example. They could look at the party. Like, say if there was pictures from a party in 2000 at this party, right? Listen, I want you to listen to this because this is very important. Let's say that Tony Buzbee and them found pictures from the 2000 party after the after the Video Music Awards, right? And they seen pictures of Jay-Z, Puffy, and all of these people at this party, and you see another female celebrity. Do you know that you can create a story behind that? That's what it seems like was done here, right? So along with listen, soon afterwards, the legal action says Mr. Combs and Mr. Carter entered the room with a female celebrity. Was that the female celebrity that was in the picture that they looked at before they filed this case and said Yeah, you was at this party right here, wasn't you? And they did what to you? Or did they give you a drink? Or did you feel woozy? Oh, you did feel woozy, didn't you? Oh my God. Well, how'd you get home? My daddy came to pick. Oh, he did? We don't really want to talk to your daddy. We just believe in your word. We're gonna file this. We're not worried about the truth. Right? Right. Yeah, TC, take it easy, man. Appreciate you for coming through. But we got this locked down. No, we reading from the facts, TC. You should stay a little bit longer. Don't go nowhere, player. Check it out. So the woman said that the waitress offered her a drink at the party that made her feel woozy. She went into a room to lie down. Soon afterwards, the legal action says Mr. Combs and Mr. Carter entered the room with a female celebrity described as Celebrity B. What they're saying is that this has tentacles and is going to reach farther beyond Jay-Z and go and attack a bunch of celebrities with these demand letters. Jay-Z's proving right now, as he said, Jay-Z said, true justice is coming. We fight from victory, not for victory. This was over before it became. This 1-800 lawyer doesn't realize it yet, but soon will, right? So now there's another celebrity, a female celebrity B that they're talking about. Soon afterwards, the legal action says Mr. Coleman, Mr. Carter entered the bedroom with the female celebrity described as Celebrity B. The legal action says Mr. Carter held her down. This is crazy. I ain't even gonna held her down, whatever, before Mr. Combs did the same, all while Celebrity B watched. It's a lie, man. Come on. Come on, man. Come on, man. Look. Huh? So you mean all of the women in the world that had gladly laid down with Puffy or Jay, they out here, manhandling 13-year-olds, man. It did not happen. Her father don't remember coming picking her up. The inconsistencies in the story prove that it didn't happen. If one thing's a lie, the rest are lies. If daddy at 13 years old, like I said, at 13 years old, your daughter calls you from somewhere somewhere across the country 5 hours away, the first thing when she get on the phone and when she said, yeah, daddy, I need you to come pick me up. I'm in New York, and she lived in Alabama at the time, let's say, the first question the first thing I'm probably gonna say is, how you getting to New York? What? Then with her friend that she said took her to New York, I'm whipping you and her ass. I'm just telling you right now. I'm gonna come get you. I'm coming to get you. But I'm gonna tell you right now, me and your mama coming to get you. But your mama gonna be in the back seat with you on the way home. Yeah. And you'll never do that again. Because number one, at 13, she was at a party. I'm wondering where my daughter at, and she ain't got no curfew. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. You had to know from the beginning with that. And like I said, the salaciousness of Jay-Z and you and people wanting to have him had done wrong. You didn't even use your common sense. You were so gung-ho on the lie, right? Just gung-ho on the lie. I need to believe that somebody like him did something bad so it make me feel better about myself and what I haven't accomplished or what I don't have going on. This shit's not transferable, player. You got to work for what you want. You can't hate on hating on the next man does not bring you success. Wishing hate on the next man does not bring you success. Wishing hate on Jay-Z or that something had happened that it possibly could have been true. Y'all don't know. Y'all don't know if he did. Y'all don't know he did. I believe it. Where they at now? We talking about facts, y'all. We talking about somebody that people imputed in, that the young lady imputed in the story. Now she's grown. Imputed in the story, her father. Daddy said what? Daddy said, I don't remember this incident. I don't remember picking her up. I don't remember driving 5 hours. It didn't happen, right? However, listen to me. And I just told you, I ran that across from you, right? However, Photos from that evening show Jay-Z and Mr. Combs at a different location to the one described by the accuser. Y'all get that? They talking about TC. Where TC go at? Did you hear that, TC? Ain't nothing fake over here. We only dropping this straight game. Listen, see, because they got photos too. See, when you tell a lie, you look once again. However, photos from that evening, right, show Jay-Z and Mr. Combs at a different location to the one described by the accuser. It is not clear if their whereabouts from the entire evening have been accounted for, right? Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? I'm telling you what they did. They took a picture from a party and created a story around it about Jay-Z and P. Diddy. It didn't work. It didn't work because you need a whole bunch of, you can't just say this, you can't go on this person's word. If her father would have said, yeah, I did come pick my daughter up, from New York, from Alabama at this particular time, it would have been much more believable. But her father went on NBC News and basically said, no, I don't remember that happening. I don't remember going to pick my daughter up in a 5-hour drive from Alabama to New York. I don't remember that. So I'm telling you, I just told you how it went down. They took a picture and created a story behind the picture. What they didn't get right was the location. They basically said it was a house party, right? Because they couldn't really identify the location, they had to put anything in there, right? Or it was house party. But they got actual pictures from an event, right? Where Jay-Z and Puffy are at, but it's not at the event that they said that it actually happened at. See? So they created a false narrative, a false story, a fake story. Right? They got the picture. They got the picture of Jay-Z, which is a Getty image. Jay-Z is in a white Rockaware shirt, and Puffy's in a red button-down shirt. And however, photos from that evening, the evening that the young lady said that this went down, photos from that evening show Jay-Z and Mr. Combs at a different location to the one described by the accuser. It's not clear if their whereabouts from that entire evening have been accounted for. She was 13 at this party. And this party right here don't look like it consisted of anything from that perspective. It's a whole different location. How do you explain that? The woman claimed in her allegations that she had spoken with musicians. Listen to this, y'all. Once again, implicating someone else in the lawsuit, right? That could be a potential plaintiff witness, if you will, on her behalf by her saying this, right? The woman claimed in her allegations that she had spoken with musicians, Benji and Joel Madden, who she said were among a number of celebrities at the house party. She does not accuse them of any wrongdoing. Listen now. But a representative for the Maddens told NBC the brothers were on tour in the Midwest during the VMAs that year. Did y'all just hear that, man? The accuser basically said that she had spoken with musicians Benji and Joel Madden, who she said were among a number of celebrities at the house party. She does not accuse them of any wrongdoing, but a representative for the Maddens told NBC News that they were on tour in the Midwest during the VMAs that year. And there is documentation that can prove they were on tour. You did not speak to them because the situation did not happen. How they on tour in the Midwest somewhere, and on the same night she said that this happened at some alleged house party, they not even there. Well, I spoke to somebody that looked like them. I don't know. Well, if you don't know that, then you don't know anything. Once again, I'm telling you, you got people out here peddling these stories, man. It's simply not true. Listen, the woman's father, the accuser's father, right? The alleged accuser, a father, told NBC News he doesn't remember driving more than 5 hours to pick up his daughter after the alleged ordeal. The father said, quote, and I quote, "I feel like I would remember that. I don't," he said. Come on, y'all. Y'all still with me? I hope I didn't lose some of y'all. Come on now. Where them believers at? Where them believers at? Come on, Jay-Z guilty? Jay-Z guilty? Come on, y'all. I'm gonna run that one by you again because, like I said, I don't think you heard it. Once again, let's run this by y'all again. The woman's father. Listen, y'all. Well, I'm running from the top, from what she said at first and who she said she talked to. These are two major inconsistencies of people that could be potential plaintiff witnesses. Listen. The woman claimed in her allegation that she had spoken with musicians Benji and Joel Madden, who she said were among a number of celebrities at the house party. She does not accuse them of any wrongdoing, but a representative for the Maddens told NBC News the brothers were on tour in the Midwest during the VMAs that year. Therefore, they were not there and she did not speak to them. Right? Boom. Right. Inconsistency, major inconsistency number one. Number two, the woman's father, her father, the one who gave birth to her with her mother, right? Her father told NBC News he doesn't remember driving more than 5 hours to pick his daughter up after her alleged ordeal. The father said, quote, "I feel like I would remember that, and I don't," he said. The woman's lawyer, Tony, listen, so now the father don't remember, and Benji and Joel Madden don't remember. But let's go to tell you what the lawyer got to say, right? The woman's lawyer, Mr. Buzbee, told NBC that his client stands by her claim. She got to stand by it. She got to stand by it. But what Tony Buzbee wasn't anticipating is that her father would come out and say, "I don't remember." Is that Benji and Joel Madden's representative would come out and basically said, yeah, they weren't at the VMAs that year. They weren't at any house party. They were actually on tour, right? Click the share button. Click the like button. We need to get this out there. We need to get this out there just like they get the salacious lies out there. We need to get this this truth out there. It's just as simple as that. Listen. And Tony Buzbee then comes back and says, our client remains fiercely adamant that what she stated is true to the best of her memory, he said. Now he's doing the Michael Jackson backslide. To the best of her memory, he said. Her daddy does not remember coming to pick her up. Her daddy said, I feel I would remember that, and I don't. That's her father speaking. I'm not thinking about Tony Buzbee at this particular time. I'm talking about your father. I ain't talking about celebrity. I ain't talking about money. I ain't talking about Jay-Z. I ain't talking about none of that. Diddy, none of that shit. I'm talking about a father and his daughter, man. I'm talking about a father and his daughter. If you as a father went to pick your daughter up 5 hours and she was 13 years old, that's something that is indelibly impressioned in your mind for the rest of your life. I'm sorry. Minus any kind of catastrophic accident that would affect her father's memory. This is serious, y'all. This is serious. This is not a game. You got people out here trying to get money, playing games, with other people's lives. And they don't give a damn about the people that they're playing games with their lives. They only care about the money that they hope to obtain. The girl father say he don't remember that, man. And I'm asking each and every person in the chat right now, if you got a 13-year-old daughter and your daughter called you, tells you she's 5 hours away in New York, and you in Alabama, the first question then, how the hell you get your ass in New York? You see what I'm saying? And to come out with these old media statements, Tony Buzbee talking about, well, our client remains fiercely adamant. This is that bullshit. This is the part of our client remains fiercely adamant that what she said and stated is true to the best of her memory, he said. We will continue to vet her claims and collect corroborating data to the extent it exists. You see that? Did you hear what I just said to the last one? Tony Buzbee said, we will continue to vet her claim. No, you were supposed to vet her claims before you filed the case. We know now that it's bogus. Two potential witnesses that would have been damaging to Jay-Z and Puffy if it had been true have now said, I don't remember that. I wasn't there. It didn't happen. We were on tour. Daddy says, I would have remembered that. I don't. These are two key witnesses, two people who, listen, I'm going to read that again because I need you to go back on what he just said. Tony Buzbee says, we will continue to vet her claims and collect corroborating data to the extent that it exists. It doesn't exist. Why? Because the data and the corroborating data that would have been damaging, right? It didn't work. It was a lie because it didn't happen. Corroborating data, you mean like her father picking her up? What could be more corroborating data than that? Corroborating data like someone who else she alleged to be at the party that she spoke to, right? Corroborating data and them coming out and saying, hey, no, we weren't there. We were on tour in the Midwest at that particular time. That's corroborating data that would have been damaging to Jay-Z, but it didn't happen. The whole story is false. It's simple as that. It's simple as that. It's simple as that. So when Tony Buzbee puts out a statement, we will continue to vet her claims. Number one, he didn't vet her claims. He filed a lawsuit and went to the press and pushed it, right? He didn't vet her claims. You're supposed to do that before you file a lawsuit. Any real lawyer knows that. Any competent legal ethical lawyer knows that, right? Vet her claims and collect corroborating data. You're supposed to do that before you file the case, right? Right? No, to the extent it exists. What you mean to the extent it exists? Didn't you get her whole story before filing the lawsuit? There should be nothing else that you needed to get because you're supposed to have all of that before you file the lawsuit. Your lawsuit's supposed to be airtight, right? Because it's based on truth and fact, right? This here got a whole gang of holes in it, man. Got a whole gang of holes in it. Listen. And it goes on to say, because we have interrogated, look, look. Now, here come the backpedal move by Tony Buzbee. Because we have interrogated her intensely, she has even agreed to submit to a polygraph. I've never had a client suggest that before. What? Now, they want you to believe that he interrogated her intensely. If you interrogated her intensely, there would be no need to continue to vet her claims. It doesn't even make sense. He says in one statement, we will continually vet her claims. But then in the very next statement, because we have interrogated her intensely, that means that you've already, come on, y'all. What the hell is going on? Listen, I want you to understand because a lot of people listen to respond and not to understand. Listen to this. He said, we will continue to vet her claims and collect corroborating data to the extent that it exists. But then the very next statement, he says, because we have interrogated her intensely, she has even agreed to submit to a polygraph. I've never had a client suggest that before. Ladies and gentlemen, the two statements are inconsistent and they conflict with each other. It doesn't make sense, right? The woman who is now 38 and the mother of two told NBC in an interview from Houston, Texas, you should never let what somebody else did ruin or run your life. I just hope I can give others the strength to come forward like I came forward. Right? Aaron Robinson, director of media relations for the RA, boom, right, said trauma like the R can have both short and long-term memory of it. We don't need nobody to come in. And like I said, for the real people who have experienced this, we make no qualms about that. Anybody who's done anything to a woman like that needs to be put in prison. Let's make this clear. But this is Jay-Z. This is a party that they described that the young lady wasn't there. Jay-Z was at a whole different party. The father don't remember. The Madden guys don't remember. Weren't there. I'm sorry, don't remember. Weren't there. It's just as simple as that. Right? And so when we talk about the big picture, right? It didn't happen. And we're going to see. Jay-Z's lawyer has filed for the case to be dismissed. I believe that the case will be dismissed. They don't have, because once again, in Tony Buzbee's own statements, we will continually try to vet her story, right? And the young lady said, the woman who is now 38, a mother of two, told NBC in the interview from Houston, Texas, you should never let what somebody else did ruin your life. I hope I can give others the strength to come forward like I came forward. That's not a statement from her. Right? Come on now. Come on. See, hoping, and like I said, when pointed out the inconsistencies, that's all they can say now is, her father don't remember. Come on. People she's implicated in this case don't remember or weren't even there. So you take it or leave it, man. Like I said, for real victims who've ever suffered any kind of mistreatment or dealt with the R word or anything like that, my heart goes out to you. This is not a game. And that's the reason why I'm doing this, because, you got people out here trying to get money in the namesake of real things that happen to real people who sometimes don't even ask for money. They want criminal prosecution. That's why Jay-Z asked for criminal prosecution. Like, don't just file a civil case, file a criminal case, if that's what happened, right? So we're going to see what happens. And like I said, the case was supposed to be vetted before it was filed. Simple. Your boy DELRAY, straight gang.